Today we will be discussing the idea of ratio. Ratio means two numbers are written like A is to B, and that is expressed as A by B. So that is a fraction type. What we say, A is antecedent and B is consequent. So two numbers are A and B, antecedent and consequent. Now we have one very important thing, that if you say A is to B, then A is the first number, not necessarily, and B is the second number, that is not necessarily. So if it is said that A is to B is the ratio, then we can say that AX and BX are two numbers. That X are actually X is common factor of the two numbers. These two numbers will be AX and BX. This X is not important, but it's important that two numbers are not exactly A and B. So like if I say 4:9 is the ratio, then we can consider 4x and 9x to be the two numbers. So it sometimes given like two numbers are in the ratio 4:9 such that their sum is 260. So find the numbers. So if two numbers are in the ratio 4:9 and their sum is 260, then what is the number? A very simple task. What we do, we take the first number is 4x and next number is 9x, and total is the sum is 4x plus 9x if I take x to be the common number, and that is 13x. But 13x should be 260. That therefore our x will be 20. So if x is 20, actual numbers are 4x, that is 80, and 9x is 180. So this is the idea of ratio of two numbers 4:9, but another condition is given here, the sum of the two numbers is 260. So finally we should have the numbers at 80:180. Most of the students love to solve this type of problems with the option, but it's okay. But without option also we can see the common factor and then solve. We have some properties of this ratio, that is inverse ratio. Inverse ratio means instead of A is to B, inverse ratio of A is to B will be B is to A. That means we change the consequent and antecedent interchange. So the 2:4, 2:3, 2:3 ratio will be inverse, then 3:2. This is the first case. Second one, the second idea is compound ratio of two ratios. Compound ratio of two ratios. Compound ratio means A is to B is compounded with another ratio C is to D. So two ratios are given, one is A is to B, another is C is to D. Then we say A by B and C by D, the compound will be into. That means compound ratio will be multiplied the antecedent, that is into C, AC, and the consequent, that is BD. So the idea of compound ratio is to multiply the first number of the two ratios, and then ratio will be the second number of the two ratios. Next is duplicate ratio. Third is duplicate ratio. Duplicate ratio means it is the ratio of A is to B. A is to B, duplicate will be A is to B is A square, not A is to B. A is to B ratio is duplicate. Duplicated ratio will be A square is to B square. But if I say that is subduplicate, subduplicate means A is to B ratio, if I take the subduplicate ratio of A is to B, then it will be subduplicate ratio of A is to B will be root A is to root B. Root A is to root B. Root A is to root B. That means square root of A and square root of B. If I take the ratio, then it is subduplicate. Then we have triplicate ratio. Another one, triplicate. Triplicate ratio of A is to B. Triplicate ratio of A is to B will be this A is to B triplicate. Triplicate will be A cube is to B cube. A to the power 3 is to B to the power 3. And subtriplicate ratio, if I consider the subtriplicate, that will be cube root of A. Subtriplicate ratio of A is to B will be cube root of A is to cube root of B. Cube root of A is to cube root of B. Therefore, we must learn this basic ideas, how to find out the ratios, and then we can calculate. Like one question we can take an example. The example of the like is compound. Find compound ratio. Find compound ratio of duplicate ratio of 2 is to 3, duplicate ratio of 2 is to 3, that is 2 is to 3 is the ratio. We need to take the duplicate ratio, and then we have to take duplicate ratio of 3 is to 4, duplicate ratio of 3 is to 4, and then another one is triplicate ratio of 2 is to 3, triplicate ratio of 3, 2 is to 3 again, triplicate ratio of 2 is to 3, and this subduplicate ratio of this is 25 is to 4. So we have so many ratios. One is 2 is to 3, another one is 3 is to 4, then another one again 2 is to 3, and the last one is 25 is to 4. But we have to take the compound, but compound is not the compound of these 2 is to 3, 3 is to 4, 2 is to 3 again, 25 is to 4, but we have to take the duplicate. The duplicate of 2 is to 3 is 4 is to 9, then duplicate of 3 is to 4 is 9 is to 16, squaring 2 is 4, squaring 3 is 9, and then triplicate is 8 2 to the power 3 is to 27, and the subduplicate is root 25 is to root 4, and that is 5 is to 2. So these ratios are our target. 4 is to 9, 9 is to 16, 8 is to 27, 5 is to 2. So these together we have to compound. And what is the compound? We will multiply these ratios, means we will write this way. The multiplication will be like this. We will take the idea from these ratios, that is 4 by 9, this is the compound ratio, 4 by 9 into 9 by 16 into 8 by 27 into 5 by 2. So if I cancel, then it is 9, 9 cancel, 8, 16, 2, and this is cancelled with 2 2s are 4, and final answer is 5 by 27. So our answer will be 5 is to 27. So how to find compound ratio of this duplicate, subduplicate, etc. We have 5 is to 27. So we are discussing the idea of ratio, and this ratio can be discussed in this way also, like continued ratio. Continued ratio is A is to B is to C. Continued ratio means A is to B is to C is written as like continued ratio is given, and that is given as 3 is to 4 is to 3 is to 5 is to 2, 3 is to 5 is to 2. So this idea is A is divided by 3, B divided by 5, and C divided by 2 are equal. This is the continued ratio, A is to B is to C, and that is given as 3 is to 5 is to 2. That is the example. Now if I take this example, that continued ratio or A is to B is to C is equal to 3 is to 5 is to 2. Find A plus B plus C, A plus B plus C by 2B. So what we'll do, A is by 3 is equal to B by 5 is equal to C by 2. The logical idea is A should be 3x, B should be 5x, and C should be 2x. So if I put it here, then we will get A means 3x plus 5x plus 2x whole divided by twice 5x. So our answer is, numerator is 10x and the denominator is also 10x. So our answer will be 1. So continued ratio answer will be in this case 1. We can have some similar type of problems of ratio like this. A is to B is 3 is to 4. A is to B is given as 3 is to 4. Find 2a plus 3b. 2a plus 3b is 2. The ratio is to 3a plus 4b. So what we do, a by b is 3 by 4. Here the solution will be a by b is 3 by 4. So we can take a is 3x and b is 4x. So what is 2a? 2a will be 6x and 3b is 12x. So our answer will be now 2a plus 3b is 6x plus 12x, 18x, and 3a plus 4b, 3a plus 4b will be 9x plus 16x, and that is 25. 9x, 3a is 9x and 4b is 16x, 25x. So our final answer will be 2a plus 3b by 2a plus 3b by 3a plus 4b, the ratio is like in fractional form, and the answer will be 18x by 25x, that is 18 by 25. So this is the idea of ratio. There can be many questions of statement type of problems, and in the statement type of problems what we'll try to solve, we'll be trying to solve in the same manner, like a is to b is ax and bx are the two numbers, and then we'll solve. So this is all about ratio basic ideas. The proportion is equality of two ratios, like a is to b, this is a ratio, and c is to d, another ratio. But if they are equal, then we say a, b, c, d are in proportion. That means a, b, c, d are in proportion. This idea is actually comes from the idea of a is to b, the ratio will be same as c is to d ratio. So we can say a by b is equal to c by d. We also consider a as first proportion, b as second proportion, c as third proportion, and d as fourth proportion. So we have four numbers. So in this case, what we see that the ratio of the first two should be equal to the ratio of the next two. Now we can have one idea that first and the fourth, if I multiply a into d, cross multiplication a into d, should be second and third multiplied. That is a into d, it should be always b into c. So if we need to identify whether they are in proportion or not, we can multiply first number and the fourth number, and that answer should be same as second number and third number. Now we can have a problem like this. Find the fourth proportion. Find the fourth proportion. Find the fourth proportion of. Find the fourth proportion of 24, 36, 24, 36, 38. That's all. So we don't know the last number. What we can have, what we can discuss will be 24 by 36. This ratio should be equal to 38 by the next number which we don't know, let it be x. So how to find out the fourth proportion, that I have taken as x, and the result will be, if I consider this x on the left side, the cross multiplication, then that will be 36 into 38 divided by 24. Now we can cancel with 12. 12 3s are 36 and 2s are. This is cancelled with 19. So 2 19s are, that is 38. So we have 57. So fourth proportion will be 57. Actually 24 by 36 is, the result is 2 by 3, and 38 by 57, if you cancel with 19, that is also 2 by 3. So the ratio is 2 by 3 if you simplify first two, which should be same in the second two. Second two means third and fourth, and that is also 2 by 3. 38 is to 57. So this is the idea of fourth proportion, how we find. Now we have some properties, basic two properties we have. One is componendo, another is dividendo. Componendo is componendo and dividendo, if I consider together, this is considering together, componendo dividendo. So a is to b is equal to c is to d. Then what is the principle? The principle of componendo dividendo. Componendo and dividendo tells us a by b and c by d. This ratio can be changed by adding b and subtracting b. So a plus b by a by minus b will be equals to c plus d by c minus d. So the idea of componendo dividendo is very simple. A by b is equal to c by d, then componendo will be a plus b and c plus d divided by dividendo a minus b, c minus d. That means add, subtract, add, subtract. So if I consider this componendo dividendo together, then we have some type of problems like x is to 5 is equal to y is to 7. Now they are asking find, we have to find out the value. We have to find out the value as x plus y. X plus 5 is, what about x by x minus 5? Find the value of x plus 5 by x minus 5. So this is a by b, c by d, that idea. So x by 5 is equal to y by 7. So if I apply componendo dividendo, then it will be x plus 5 divided by x minus 5. This is component of dividend rule on the next left hand side. The right hand side will be y plus 7 by y minus 7. So this is the answer to x plus 5 by x minus 5. This idea is component of dividendo. So now another property of proportion is addendo. Addendo means adding the numerator and adding the denominator. That is, if a is to b is equal to c is to d is equal to x is to y, etc., then each ratio can be taken as a plus c plus x. That means this plus this divided by b plus d plus y, etc. That means it is a very important property that when you have the ratios are all equal, then it can be taken as their addition. Now we can have one problem here. As x is to y, it's a problem. We are discussing a problem that previous to our properties. X is to y is equal to z is to w is equal to 2.5 is to 1.5. 2.5 is to 1.5. So the question is, what is x plus z by y plus w? So actually what we can do is x by y is 2.5 by 1.5, which is cancelled with 0.5, so it will be 5 by 3, and similarly z by w is also 2.5 by 1.5, that will be also 5 by 3. So if I take x and the ratio, if I take x as by 5, x is equal to 5k, then y will be 3k. Similarly z is 5k, then w is 3k. So now we can come to this example. X plus z, it will be 5k plus 5k, that is 10k, and the y plus w will be 3k plus 3k is 6k. So finally answer is 5 is to 3, which can be very easily seen here. 2.5 and 1.5, if you add the total, then it will be coming in this way. So this is problems of proportion also. Now we can have one idea. This is a concept of proportion. That idea is not proportion what we have seen, but it is a is to b is equals to b is to c. This kind of proportion is called continued proportion, because b is common in both the cases. So continued proportion means a is to b is equal to b is to c. So a is called first proportion, b is called mean proportion, and c is called third proportion. So when you have first, mean and third, then we have a is to b is equal to b is to c. That is, a by b is equal to b by c. So it will be b square is equal to ac. That means the mean proportion will be multiplication of the two under root. So it can be asked, find the mean proportion of 2, find the mean proportion of 2, find mean proportion of, mean proportion means b, mean proportion of 2, mean proportion of 2 and 18. Sorry. So if I want to know mean proportion of 2 and 18, then it will be 2 into 18 under root will be the mean proportion, that is the b. So answer is 6. So the question is, find mean proportion of 2 and 18. Our answer will be b will be, that the mean proportion will be this into this under root, because b square is equal to ac. So our answer is 6. That's all for proportion which we need to learn as basic topic.